we don't do it because we're weak. Many times we ask, pray for me, Pastor, that God will give me direction. You know what to do. You already have direction, but you just need the courage to do what God has asked you to do. And he says, I've come not only for the foolish, but I've come to call the weak. And then he moves from the weak to the base. And here's what he says. He says, not only the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, and the base things of the world. Now notice how progressively he's going down to the more negative. He's taking you from foolish to weak to base, which means now you are on the bottom of the barrel. You are the base things. And when you talk about somebody being base, from the Hebrew it would be brutish and it would be animal-like. When you talk about base, you're talking about without culture, without class, without dignity. That's base. So he's coming down to the base things. And then here's the interesting thing. He says, God hath chosen, yea, things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. If a thing is not, then I could simply say it's a nothing. So now look at how he moves. He moves from the foolish to the weak, to the base to the despised, and then he moves all the way down to the nothings. Now I know you feel pretty good about yourself, but you fall in one of those categories, because if that's what he's chosen, you fall in that category. And if you don't think you fall in that category, then he does not have need of thee, because he can't ride you into the New Jerusalem if you don't feel like you have been weak, have been foolish, have been base, have been despised, and have been a nothing. I'm only something because God made me something. It's not a car that makes you something. It's not your clothes. It's not how much you change your hairstyle. It's not getting pedicures and manicures that make you something. You're only something because God saw fit to die on Calvary's cross and to come and choose you out of a bunch of folk because you fit the description of what he wanted. Go up there and bring me that ass. I don't want a stallion, I want a donkey. And I want to ride in on a donkey, and it's grace when he chooses the weak, the foolish, the base, the despised, and the nothings. So don't take yourself into some narcissistic, egomaniac position, because whatever you are by the grace of God. And I'm so glad he sifted through all of the junk and found me. When folk thought that you wouldn't become anything and we would be wasted in the street, all we got to do is tell them, look at us now. Amen. Look where God has brought us from. All right, we're going to have some church. It is significant now because there's another view here, and I'm just in opening that there is another view. And that is that he empowers those to do his will. It becomes significant because he's got to be able to steer you. He's got to be able to direct you. And many times when we come to him feeling we know it all, I told my kids the best knowledge you will ever get is the knowledge you get after you think you know it all. Anytime you can get some knowledge behind that know-it-all knowledge. And many of us come with the attitude that we are superior to the rest of the folk. And we look around us and we make judgments about other people, and we feel like we're more significant. The man walked up to Jesus and he said to him, he said, Lord, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. I have looked at the folk around you and I find that I'm a rabbi. I am superior to these fishermen and these little fellas here. And Jesus turned around and discouraged him. He said, the fox foxes have holes, the birds of the air have nests, but I, the Son of Man, have nowhere to go. He played on the whithersoever. He said, I have no whithersoever to go. Now, will you still follow me when you have no whithersoever to go? You see, when God chooses the foolish, the